It is noon in Cairo. It is 1 p.m. in Tel Aviv. I'm Monita Rajpal. This is World One, live from London. A pledge to be a president for all Egyptians. Mohamed Morsi has addressed a nation with high hopes as he prepares to be sworn in as Egypt's first democratically elected head of state. Well, it could be a difficult road ahead for Mohamed Morsi. The Egyptian army still has a tight grip on the country. We are covering the story from all angles. Ian Lee joins us live from Cairo, and Dan Lothian is at the White House. Ian, let's begin with you. Once inaugurated, how much change can Morsi actually bring, especially under this current interim constitution that actually limits a president's powers?
It really doesn't have that much power, Monita. There's a few things he can do, and that is appoint a cabinet.
Very much. Ian Lee reported to us there live from Cairo. Let's take you now to the White House. And Dan, how is the Obama administration viewing this? Is the election, according to them, of Morsi a good thing?
Well, I think, they do see this as a good thing, but they also see this as a good thing for the people of Egypt.
Presidential elections are a talking point on Twitter. We want to take a look at what some of you have been saying. Egyptian current affairs writer Bassem Sabri tweets from Cairo, "This is the first time in my life I see a single Egyptian happy with the results of the presidential elections. First time they ever mattered." And then from South Africa, we have also the blogger Sabira Gumedi saying, "And now the work begins for Egypt. Building a respectable civil society isn't done overnight. You have support from South African brothers and sisters." Then we have a Swedish Egyptian singer Maher Zain tweeting, saying that Dr. Mohamed Morsi announced as Egypt's first elected president after the glorious 25th of January revolution. Congratulations to Egypt, and hashtag Egypt, of course. And from social media blogger Iyad El-Baghdadi, based in Dubai, saying that boom you just heard was the Arab world's axis shifting. You are watching World One, live from London. Coming up, Spain has made a formal request to the European Union for loans to shore up its banks. An independent audit said Spanish banks need up to $100 billion to restore stability to the financial sector. Madrid Bureau Chief Al Goodman joins us now with all the details on that. Al.
Hi, Monita. Well, finally they did it, and they didn't call it a bailout. Remember, the Spanish government is not calling
Al Goodman there in Madrid. Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir says the country is not poised for its own revolutionary Arab Spring. Despite days of demonstrations against his government, local media say students clashed with police on Sunday in the capital Khartoum as well as in other cities. It was the latest in a series of protests that began more than a week ago. Millions of dollars since its separation from oil-producing South Sudan last year, and now people are seeing the cost of living shoot up, as well as food and fuel prices jump. CNN's Nemba Al-Barghir joins us now with more on that. Talk to us a little bit about these austerity measures that al-Bashir's government has proposed.
Well, al-Bashir's government has basically had to accept the fact that with the loss of the oil revenue, they have lost.
Nemba, thank you very much for that. It's a really interesting story, I have to say. Nemba Al-Barghir here in the studio. I appreciate that. You are watching World One, live from London. It's an all too familiar story, unfortunately, for England football fans at Euro 2012 last night. Roy Hodgson's side lost to Italy in the quarterfinal with the match decided on penalties. Could understand the weary tone of newspapers in the UK covering that game. Here's the Guardian's headline, "England to pay the penalty yet again," and it goes on to say this has turned out to be an unexpectedly uplifting tournament for England fans generally, fortified in advance by widespread rock-bottom expectations of a team stitched together in record time and depleted of key players. Ouch. Well, the headline in the Independent, the iPaper here, England suffer familiar pain of penalty defeat. It says they did not deserve to win the game, not with 36% possession, but they fought and they stayed the course. And then when they went to penalty up on the much more impressive Italians, they blew it. And dominating the front page of the tabloid, the Daily Mail, is this headline: "It always ends in penalties. It always ends in tears." It's an opinion piece that goes on to say, "We're used to being let down. We can handle it." As John Cleese said in the movie Clockwork, "I can take the despair. It's the hope I can't stand." Wow. Well, in another story, Cuban bloggers and tweeters have been talking all things tech At a first-of-its-kind festival in Havana for 3 days, participants discussed how to get online and use social media in a country where the internet and its connectivity is highly restricted and expensive. Even before the festival began, government authorities had accused its organizers of trying to stir up trouble. CNN's Patrick Ottman reports.
At this small house hosting Cuba's first independent tech festival,
Russian President Vladimir Putin has just touched down in Israel for a fleeting 2-day visit. Mr. Putin arrived in Tel Aviv in the last hour. He is due to have talks with the Israeli president and prime minister. The two on the former Israeli ambassador to Egypt joins us now from Tel Aviv. Sir, thank you very much for being with us. First of all, I want to ask you about Egypt. We want to switch gears a little bit. I'll ask you about your reaction to the election of Mohamed Morsi as Egypt's president. He has said that he will respect Egypt's foreign agreements. Does Israel buy that? All right. It's at Lebanon, former Israeli ambassador to Egypt. Sir, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate that. You're watching World One live from London. Still to come, Egypt's president-elect is considered by many to be a symbol of its popular revolution. During the reign of Hosni Mubarak, Mohamed Morsi was jailed for protesting against corruption and rigged elections. And now his supporters will expect him to do something about all of that. Ben Wiedemann takes a look.
When they finally heard the news,
well, Mohamed Morsi says his government will be an inclusive one. The reality will be judged on just how it performs on the rights of Egypt's citizens, its minorities, its women. Well, Egyptian activist and blogger Dalia Ziada is the executive director of the IBN Khaldun Center of Development Studies. She joins us now via Skype. Thank you very much for being with us. Dalia, how much do you believe, or how concerned are you at this point? Are you more concerned than I guess, hopeful?
Actually, I'm somehow disappointed with this result. I'm disappointed that we have removed Mubarak to bring in the Muslim Brotherhood.
Dalia, we appreciate you speaking to us. Thank you very much for that. Dalia Ziada speaking to us there from Cairo. We want to take you now to Syria. Syria's foreign ministry is holding a news conference. Spokesman Jihad Magdisi is speaking. Let's take a listen.
What happened after the downing of this plane?
The jet was in Syrian airspace. It was a matter of sovereignty. Now, the Turkish foreign ministry had said before that the jet, the unarmed jet, they said, was in Syrian airspace by mistake, but when it was shot down, it was in international airspace. CNN's Ivan Watson is joining us now from Istanbul in Turkey. He brings us more reaction to what has happened between these two countries that were at one point allies.
That's right. More than a year ago, they were very close friends who even dropped visa restrictions between each other's citizens for...
Thank you, Ivan Watson there in Istanbul. You are watching World One live from London. Couldn't pull off an Italian job at the Euros as Roy Hodgson's men departed from another international tournament in an all too familiar way. Amanda Davis joins us now with the details. Are we being a little mean, a little harsh?
What, on England?
Yeah.
They didn't play very well, has to be said. I'm still sporting my red, as you are.
As I am.
You know, cheering them on despite...
Unconsciously, I will add, but okay.
Despite the fact, yeah, so near yet so far. But I think people on balance say they really didn't deserve to go through when you watched what happened during the 90 minutes. But no, England are out again, and the Euro 2012 semi-final lineup here, Alex.
And lots of cream.
And
Strawberries
lots of cream.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit of champagne as well.
Throw that in. I'll be with you. I'll meet you there. Amanda, thank you very much for that. You're watching World One. Stay with us. Much more still to come. Hot, dry, and windy conditions have fueled rampaging wildfires across the U.S. state of Colorado, and a dangerous tropical storm is turning in the Gulf of Mexico. Lots going on there in the world weather. Meteorologist Mari Ramos is at the World Weather Center with more details. Hi, Mari.
Hello, Monita. Yeah, a lot going on. Let me go ahead and start you off with
Thank you very much. You are watching World One live from London. I'm Monita Rajpal. Thank you for joining us. We'll update you the news headlines in just a couple of minutes right here on CNN.